All right, folks, we're back live, the Coach and Andy show. So we had a week off doing, catching up on things and getting stuff ready to go. So we're back live. We tried a different device and we obviously did something wrong. So hopefully we'll get gathering an audience. And this episode is all about Andy's abs. So what do we call that? Quadruple A's. All about Andy's abs. So sign on in. We're going to talk. We've been talking to you how many months now about Andy's awesome abs training circuit for getting and maintaining and sustaining six-pack abs year-round, the kind of abs that got Andy on multiple covers of fitness magazines. These kind of abs. Show them these kind of abs. What kind of abs? Those kind of abs. The kind I scrub my laundry on when I'm done doing my laundry. So we're going to get an audience. We're going to answer your questions, folks, and all about Andy's abs. The project is finally ready to go. Probably within the next week, you'll have it in your hands because people are writing me, what about pre-sales? When can we get it? So they're very, very happy. And again, old lion, young lion, we're happy to bring it to you. You wanted to say something first for our Down Under audience?
Yes, thank you to all my fans and friends down in Australia. As you can see, I'm wearing one of the lovely shirts that you guys gave me. I appreciate it very much. Everything is very nice, and I will wear this with pride. Fits really good. And
so you got a few shirts, a hat,
and
all kinds of gifts
nice
from our
goodie bag,
from our Aussie fans. So this episode of the Coach and Andy show, all about Andy's abs, we're going to dedicate to our Down Under fans, and we're going to have a pseudo Down Under Coach and Andy show. So how's the audience building there?
We're looking good.
We're looking good. Okay, so we're finally getting back on board. So folks, like I said, we're about to launch Andy's Awesome Abs product. Lots to get through. One of the things we want to emphasize to you guys that we do all the time is we take the long-term approach to things. And we do that, like any expert knows, by taking the long-term approach, you solve and take care of the short-term approach. What does the industry like to do?
Oh, they like to do everything now, and they never look at the big picture at all.
Yeah. The industry wants you all to focus on the short term, 12 weeks to rock hard abs, 12-week supplements, 10 weeks of this, 8 weeks of that. We don't do that. The reason Andy's my protege is he listened, he followed. Guess what? Six-pack abs for over a decade now. They don't disappear for 8 months and then reappear for 2 months. We didn't say, hey, let's do an abs project. Why don't you go starve yourself for 4 months and we'll train you into the ground and we'll market a product. No, we're all about the real deal. And the very first episode of the Coach and Andy show that we did, we had people ask me how long you dieted.
And that wasn't even planned.
For the episode. And we were just winging it. So, again, show them the six-pack again, right at the camera. All right, so this is Andy's Awesome Abs Circuit Training, how to maintain, sustain, and acquire six-pack abs and keep them all year long. We got diet protocol in there, training protocol in there. Speaking of diet, how many meals you eat in a day?
6 a day. I've been doing that since I started with you.
So I know the latest Vogue trend out there, people are emailing me that, oh no, you don't need more than 3 meals a day is the latest research. Well, we don't go by the latest research. We go by expertise. We go by what 4 decades has told me, and 13 years and counting has informed Andy.
Not all of a sudden just going to change it.
We're not going to change it because a piece of research comes and says, I don't need to eat 6 meals a day. And we're informed. No. We're informed coaches out there. No, experience is what matters, folks. Andy eats 6 meals a day. That's what suits. He's also on the cycle diet. We're going to answer all your questions about dieting for rock hard abs year-round. Things like that. He eats 6 meals a day. How many of those meals contain carbs?
5.
Oh no, say it ain't so.
And the one right before bed too.
Oh no,
so, yeah.
Say it ain't so.
That's a big...
so 5 of 6 meals with carbs. Do you worry about things like pre, peri, and post meal timing?
No.
There you go. Just meals balanced throughout the day?
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
Long-term approach, folks. So this is all in Andy's Awesome Abs product. We're calling it the AAA product around here. Andy's Awesome Abs Circuit Training. So again, we take the long-term approach knowing that it solves short-term equations. The industry wants to present to you things flip because it's easier to sell you that kind of stuff. Sell you instant promises. sell you things that supplements will do it for you, sell you 12-week transformation protocols. We're not going to starve anybody into the ground and know that that's going to have repercussions down the road. We're all about no weight loss program or lean out program is sustainable if it doesn't go metabolism first, weight loss second. That's our goal, all right? Metabolism first, weight loss second. 6 meals a day supports a metabolism like this. Also supports the energy you need in the gym.
Yeah, no, there's no way I'd be able to do my workouts on a low carb diet or something. There's no way that's going to happen. So.
I remember at a presentation I was doing, and Lee Haney was also doing a presentation there. 8-time Mr. Olympia, Lee Haney, and at the time low carbs were also in vogue and trend, and fad diet Atkins and all that. And someone asked Lee Haney about low-carb dieting, and his answer was, I doubt Dr. Atkins ever trained to win an Olympia contest. And that was his way of saying carbs, carbs, and more carbs. So, again, forget about keto, forget about all this low-carb nonsense, forget about all this window timing. Okay, we got all these people, Andy, who aren't ready yet for basic stuff, and they want to redefine minor stuff. Yeah. What about doing it on an empty stomach, and what about how much branch change should I take in the middle of my workout? Yeah, how about just doing it consistently for a while? So, how we doing there, cameraman?
Well, it's sure nice to see the positive comments coming through. Lots on the screen. Mattis has a question to both of you. What type of carbs would you recommend for someone who wants to bulk up but has difficulty to eat larger amounts of starches?
Well, eat smaller amounts of starches. But eat the starches, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, everything from potatoes, rice, if you're bulking up, even, stuff like pasta is good. Just, starchy carbs that are, that are going to help put on weight, basically. There's no really magic, magic carb or anything, but there's no rules when you're bulking up.
Right. And bulking, there you go. No rules when you're bulking up. That's a good, very good line. People write that down. No rules when you're bulking up. That's the approach we took. And we bulked you up, right? We bulked you up to 300 pounds. He was like, roly-poly, what a goal. Yes, we bulked Andy up. But the thing was, he stuck with it long enough to know it was working. So we did it for you because of your height.
Yeah, it had to be done. It had to be done.
So Andy went up to almost 300 pounds. But he stayed with it until it had the desired metabolic effects. Again, the long-term approach, which is why he's able to now bring you Andy's awesome abs product. So what we like to do, Mattis, in your bulking up is not filling up. There's a difference, right? It's not about eating till you're full, but it's about eating calorie-dense foods. So what we would often do is stuff with less fiber and stuff that goes through what we call quick intestinal motility. So things like Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, I was going to say,
you remember the Pop-Tarts?
Yeah.
So Andy, we called it the Pop-Tart diet, didn't we?
Yeah.
When you were bulking up. So that was one of the things, and that's what led to getting that robust, optimized metabolism, which we talk about in the product. You talk about that, right?
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah, and Andy being on the cycle diet, he also talks about a term that Andy coined that came from me, digestive priming.
The little trick to cheat days, You can see that in the project too.
Yeah, because a lot of people get carried away with the refeed days and stuff, and they get a little more overzealous. We've all been there. Yeah. And then they suffer for it with bloating and cramps. And
starting out with it, or if they haven't had one in a while, they get a little overzealous.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yes, this is all about Andy's abs. All right, Andy's awesome abs circuit training is coming to you soon. So we wanted to get out in front of that and tell you how excited we are. We'll be bringing that to you real soon. One of the things now on the training side is the blend of my innovation training methodology with the MET training methodology. So tell them a little bit about that.
Yeah, so there's definitely some functional ab movements combined with more traditional movements like crunches and sit-ups. It's in a circuit format, so right there you're going to get a metabolic payoff from it. But it's not just about your abs. Like you're training your abs, your core, your posture, your chain, everything. Right? All those things work in a unit together, and that's what these workouts are based around.
And we break it down to 4 categories, right? Sit up and crunch variations, leg raise variations, plank variations, which we both are big fans of.
Huge.
And then kinetic chain stuff. So you'll see how Andy works those through his circuits, going from vertical to horizontal planes, all right, and then sometimes adding weight, adding motion, adding range of motion, speed. It's all about making something effective. So again, it's not about magic exercises. Hey, I better buy this product because Andy has 5 new exercises no one's ever seen before, and you see Andy hanging from a chin-up bar with one arm and, you know, a cone outside of his head or something. No, it's not like that, all right? We are all about what's effective, okay? The magic is in the method, all right? Remember that. The magic is in the method. So it's all about how these exercises are effectively combined in the circuits to produce a predominant effect, all right, of not only targeting the abs correctly in a way that won't produce imbalances, all right, but also optimize metabolism, all right? Very, very important as well. So show them Andy's awesome abs one more time. Okay,
Application is everything, for sure.
Yeah, so they didn't just disappear, you know. So, you know, looking a little flat, have a cookie. Yeah.
Scott, do you take in less starchy carbs if you want to lose fat?
Not necessarily. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think that comes from, there's definitely more cosmetically friendly carbs than others. Carbs that are going to help, you know, make you hold more water or less water than others. But certainly, if you're in a calorie deficit, you're in a calorie deficit. So
we can manipulate carbs to produce specific cosmetic effects or osmotic effects. But realize when I say osmotic effects, we're talking about body water.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I wanted to, we talked in the past about when Andy was getting ready for specific photo shoots. If they wanted him looking a little more sinewy, then we went a certain way with his carbs to flatten his physique out a little bit because they wanted a more sinewy looking guy and not too muscular. But I believe it was the novel you were on cover, they wanted you a little bit heavier. I think it was. So we went the other way with full starches and things like that. So you can manipulate and tweak these things to create an osmotic difference in terms of looking fuller or looking more sinewy, but those are very, very short-term, immediate realm effects. And remember, we talk about the 3 realms of time: the immediate, the residual, and the cumulative, okay? And we have to consider all 3 if you're going to do the long-term approach. Tell them.
Oh, it has to be sustainable to work. I mean, if you can't stick to a diet, then you know that's
not a good
problem.
diet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, how many times we've discussed and people have written me, oh, I was on Weight Watchers 4 times and it really worked, but I can't stay on it. Then it didn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what we're talking about, that the industry wants to sell you short-term garbage instead of focusing on long-term. You know what? Short-term sexy is appealing. We get that, right?
Yeah.
Short-term sexy stuff. The real stuff, the consistency over the long term, it's not sexy enough to sell. It doesn't sell anything. But we're changing that. Andy's Awesome Abs product is all about what he actually does. I mean, you're in the kitchen in this product, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Cooking it up and, you know, cheat day videos.
You see Andy doing his meal prep, weighing your food out.
Yep.
You see him doing what it takes to acquire and maintain and sustain 6-pack cover model abs 24/7, 365. All right, so very, very important.
Yeah, preparation is everything, and it doesn't have to consume your life either. People, you don't have to live in the kitchen. I mean, I don't. I just you figure out ways.
Time management.
Absolutely, and the most successful people I know in life are very good at managing their time.
And the other thing there is, for everyone listening about everything we're saying there, is it's not like you've been on one program. I mean, you've had 6-pack abs now for over a decade.
Yeah, it's not like
it's not like
one way. Yeah.
You just did one training program because, God forbid, if you left that, your abs are going to disappear.
Yeah. No.
Right? So this is about lifestyle. This is about understanding expertise. The reason Andy's my protege, he follows the principles and he expands on them a little bit, like things like the digestive primer that you're talking about.
Yeah.
That was Andy's word caption there. But it makes sense, and you'll find out all about the digestive primer stuff in Andy's Awesome Abs Circuit training product. So very important as well. How are we doing there, cameraman?
Nothing really specific about abs, but Lydia has a little question here.
Lydia with an I or a Y?
An I.
Hi, Lydia. I know that. I think I know who that person is.
Can you show how you incorporate shrugs when doing shoulder moves, such as front/lateral raises? I'm pretty sure that somewhere you recommended throwing shrugs into both moves.
Well, we don't really say throw shrugs into both moves. We say shrug all lateral movements, which is more of a mind orientation than anything. So it's basically, if you're doing this as a side lateral, then it's a mind muscle
you're
thing.
just thinking shrugging.
You're just
them
thinking,
up,
as at the top, yes, you're going to shrug.
Yeah.
You're trying to shrug your traps to your ears. So see the difference, Lydia, between this versus this?
Yeah, it's not an exaggerated movement or anything.
Okay.
It's just,
Yeah, it's more of a
muscle.
mind-muscle connection, and it's the same for any shoulder movement that where it's possible, right? I mean, shrug speaks for itself because you're going to always try to touch your traps for your ears. But front alternate raises, boom, you're just thinking. As soon as you get past the point of the isolated part of the deltoid, whether it be anterior or medial, all right, then you're going to negotiate with your mind to shrug the rest of the way.
Stop thinking with your hands, basically.
Yeah, you don't think with your hands, right? So we say shrug all shoulder movements. So it's like boom. It's just that. See that? It's just that extra motion that you do mind muscle wise. Okay, even two arm. You see the difference, Lydia, between this, okay, versus this. All right, maybe you do. You got your tank top on. Just sort of show the difference between. Yeah, you see that orientation of the traps at the top. All right, same thing, do the side lateral. First show, just from here, you don't even need an implement, just how normal people would do it.
Oh.
So normal people would come up, all right, and they would come all the way up, or they might even go higher, but they're not thinking to shrug that lateral motion. What you'll see, Andy knows when he gets the medial delt into its preferred plane of motion, he's going to shrug the rest of the way. So you see that where he's trying to take the traps to the ears. All right, so it's not a literal interpretation. It's one of my innervation training principles for sure, so good on you to see that. But it's one of those things where you're kind of helping mind-muscle connection, like when we talk about fighting the flex for arm training, and row it, don't throw it, and above the eyes for presses and plies. All those kind of things are all about sort of optimizing a certain exercise. So shrugging all lateral motions is more of a engaging and helping that mind-muscle connection.
It's always about how well you can feel the exercise. Because I mean, I see personal trainers all the time. They're just giving their client a million different things to think about, and it's just
too much.
The person doesn't even know what muscle they're training. But
So hopefully, Lydia, hopefully that answered your question. So it's all about the principles of innervation training, which is very, very important. Hopefully that made sense to you, because it's time that people learned it's more important to feel your reps than to count your reps. Okay? How many times do we have to say that? And question.
Yes. Excuse me. Can Scott or Andy speak to how the ab circuits in the upcoming ads product fit into the larger picture of getting abs and one's training diet? How do the circuits fit with the rest of your training program?
Well, you take the first one. And
it really just depends what kind of program you're doing right now, but certainly it could be implemented many different ways depending on what you are doing. If you're training more of a traditional body part split training, I'd probably suggest doing it twice a week anyways, either after a workout on non-consecutive days or at a completely separate time, because they're certainly very metabolic, and I mean we definitely go into that in more detail in the project too. We talk about adding that into the program that you're doing right now. So
yeah, it can be a workout unto itself. It could be like for people who just want to target the ab training, and if their work capacity, one of the assessment factors in the training model that we always talk about, effort, training strategy, work capacity, recovery capacity, internal biochemical hormonal environment. If they just want to focus on the abs, then it would be like a 1 or 2 a day kind of workout once or twice per week, and then the rest of their training protocol fits around that. So maybe 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week. we've also broken it down where people can do partial elements of Andy's awesome ab circuits as well. So there's a place where they'll do like 4 of the exercises instead of the complete circuit. But we factor that around the methodology, and that methodology again is sit-up and crunch variations, leg raise variations, plank variations, and kinetic chain expression stuff. So, but we do tweak that all around. We show how to apply it with different programs.
Yeah, we also talk about how to progress and digress them too. So I mean, it's not like it's just one size fits all. You have to do it this way, and that's it. So
yeah, we show you ways to make an exercise harder, to make it easier, that kind of stuff. It's not always about progressive resistance. I would like to think it's about progressive intensity or progressive effectiveness. I mean, what do you do when a regular plank gets too easy? Well, you know, you can't add weight, you know, unless you're going to get a training partner to sit on your back, which doesn't make any sense.
Stability. You add something that makes it
range of motion and less balance. So all these, you'll learn all this within the project. So did we answer that question?
Yes.
Thumbs across the screen. How are we doing out there, folks? Show us some thumbs or hearts if you're still online with us.
Lots of really positive comments, Scott.
Awesome.
This is something that we've done throughout the program that when we've been talking to people. I don't know if you're able to do this at this particular time, but Nadim wants to know the proper way to do barbell cheat curls.
I don't really have a barbell on us. I mean, we filmed Andy doing those in the gym the other day, so we will be...
show you just like a...
Yeah, show him with the body bar.
Do it from the side. You can
Do it from the side and then the front.
You always want to kind of lean forward and let the barbell hang. Hopefully you can see me here, but let the barbell hang in front of you. Don't let it rest against your thighs. That's why we say hanging and banging. So, but yeah, basically you want to lean into it and just basically rock. You don't want to be so much where you're getting up on your toes.
Face the front and do it.
Like there's a difference between a cheat curl and...
You know what? Let's go. Go ahead. Just show them all. We'll show them another way with some real weight.
So basically, you're just using. You're not using momentum. You're just using how your body moves, basically, to pump the iron.
Yeah, it's definitely about pumping iron in that move, and it's definitely called a cheat for a reason. You want to just grab the other end of this thing? Put it on there. So, yeah, just hook that up and then we'll drop her down. Might as well see it in real time, folks. Got it snap through? Okay. So, just maybe lose the shirt there. Alright, so we'll get Andy to show you in real time. You might want to come over, shoot from the side too, cameraman.
Gotcha.
There's a difference between hoisting and heaving. Alright? Lately I've been saying to people training heavy doesn't mean training heavy. And what I mean by that, it doesn't mean heaving the weights. But what you'll see Andy doing, I saw him in the gym the other day when we were shooting him doing the cheat curl, is a little bit of hoist, what we call body English.
Yeah.
That's what you want. You want a little bit of body English. There's a lot of personal trainer bias now to doing everything so strict you negate the actual benefit of the movement. So get in there, Andy, behind it, and show them this is an actual barbell cheat curl. We're just going to use the cables because I'm partial to them. So get down. Hopefully they're at the same angle. Those. Yeah, okay. And then show them, and then cameraman, you want to get to the side too. Go ahead, buddy. You see how Andy does them for real in the gym. Good stuff. Good. And it's just really too bad that Andy's not very cut and ripped. Otherwise, you'd really be able to see that working. It's unfortunate he's so out of shape. But hopefully, Lydia, that
Cheat meals are killing me.
hopefully that answered your question about the curl. So we did it for you, not just faking it, but we did it in real time. So you can see everything working there for sure. So that's how you, like Andy said, that's how you hang it and bang it in the Abel family. So
It should be all about feeling feeling the movement, pumping the iron. That's why
Yeah,
the movie was called Pumping Iron.
And your reps are a gauge, of course. We use most of my programs are written for rep protocol, not load protocol.
Yeah.
So we use reps as guidelines for loads to use.
Yeah.
But that's all they are, and the reps usually keep your ego in check. But even having said that, if you go to Marcus Aurelius Bodybuilding 101 and watch Pumping Iron, you'll see in the training sequences feeling the reps being far more important than counting the reps. As a matter of fact, I can barely think of, there's only one scene when they're actually counting the reps, when Franco was actually doing the bench press. So hopefully, Lydia, does that answer your question? Just throw a thumb
As a
up.
matter of fact, it was a wow nice.
Well, that's because I look so good. I make that look good. I mean, I make that all work. Okay. So, yeah, just a little bit of love for the old guy here. Okay. So, moving on. Andy's Awesome Abs Training. We're just excited as all get out to bring it to you. It's got diet. It's got importance of metabolism first, weight loss second, metabolism first, leanness second. Andy's Awesome Abs in there. We've got all the exercises broken down for each circuit, how to employ them within specific protocols or as a standalone product. So we did that too. The actual circuits that Andy used to first acquire the abs and then sustain and maintain for over a decade lean enough abs to be on the cover of a magazine. And as you see, standing here is one thing, and he looks great. He looks like a statue and all that. But when you see Andy do the curls and stuff, and you get to see that physique come alive, and all the fibers dancing and stuff, for me, that's what aesthetics was all about. We're not all about the Frankenstein bodybuilding of this day and age. I could care less about people with 24-inch arms and all the rest of the nonsense. For me, this is what it's about. Mass with class. Aesthetics.
Speaking of that, Scott, somebody wants to know how big those arms are.
You know what? I've never measured them, so
Yeah, that's
I
not
have no idea.
in our camp, we don't do a lot with numbers. We don't count calories.
We've never measured body fat. We've never measured.
We don't measure body fat. How big are they? They're big enough to get him on the cover of most of the main magazines in the world. So, yeah. So we're all about look good naked. You don't have to count that. We're not trying to be smart ass or anything.
No.
But
No,
seriously,
that's just how we do it. Yeah, we're not.
yeah. In my camp, we don't do that. I try to steer. Clients join with me, and they'll be right away. Well, today I weighed this, and yesterday I weighed that, and I'll be, whoa, stop the nonsense right now. You don't need to weigh yourself every day, okay? That's just, there's no point to that unless we're trying to establish some kind of baseline for cycle diet or things like that. So that's a good point as well, though. How big are Andy's arms? Don't know. The more important question, I think, is how aesthetically pleasing is the physique in terms of how does Andy's long biceps and triceps fit into the rest of his physique in terms of his torso, in terms of the leg development. That's why I first fell in love with this sport, folks, that you could literally sculpt a statue. It wasn't about huge by choice and go big or go home and all this other nonsense about walking around like you could hardly move. Frankenstein bodybuilding, I call it. Anyone who sees Andy anywhere on the planet walking a beach or walking around looking like this, anyone will acknowledge that that physique is aesthetically pleasing. All right? It's pleasing to the eye. No one's going to say it's too much. All right? So more power to the ones that want to be all about Frankenstein bodybuilding and freaky muscles, whatever. I mean, we're just not...
We want to their own.
Teach their own. We want to be something that's sustainable, something that's aesthetically pleasing. Andy could pose for an artist today, tomorrow. I mean, you did that novel, the cover for that novel. People want to see, he could pose naked for sketch artists, things like that. Those are the kind of, we want to, folks, even with Krista, young Krista who helps me, we want to present physiques that people can be inspired by and aspire to. We don't want to present physiques where people are going to be, well, that's too much. I would never want to look like that. That's not something that we're interested in either. So keep that in mind. We're trying to get you to a point where things like this, Andy's physique, Krista, that they can inspire you to aspire to being greater than you were before. not being something that's just too off the chart to even want to reach for, because it's too hardcore or just
out there. Yeah,
it's just too out there and obviously requires drugs. I mean, you're natural, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's about the best natural physique you're going to see on the planet, or at least top 1%, folks. I can guarantee you that. So, comments, questions, reactions?
Lots of real positive things. Maybe you could tell them when the project is going to come online or be available.
That's up to Magic Mike. We're a team here.
In the next few weeks, anyways.
It's closer than that. It's definitely closer than the next few weeks.
Better.
Yeah. So, but we worked hard at this, folks. We were how many months? I mean, months.
Since the new year, yeah. So it's been like 5. It'll be going on 5 months here. So.
Yeah. So we both put everything aside to get this going, and we thought, what a great thing to bring to people. Because even if you don't do Andy's Awesome Ab Circuits, you can watch, learn, be educated, and be inspired by a physique that's worth aspiring to, right? So that's something, right? It's not a freak show. Again, it's something about bringing something to you that's valuable, right? And we're trying to market value.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
it's all about...
It's funny, we were in the gym a couple of weeks ago, and we were doing a photo support for Andy's Awesome Abs product, and someone said to me, "Oh, you guys are doing lots of videos, and everyone's talking about it." And yeah. And the next thing he asked me was, "What supplement company is it?" And I'm like, "We don't do supplements. We don't believe in supplements." Well, what's it for? It's for marketing expertise. It's for marketing how to get from point A to point B. All right? It's about marketing what's sustainable. All right? To look like this and get better and better over a decade. Not like I had abs once 10 years ago, and then lost them. So, I mean, we see it right now this time of year, contest time of year, and the stuff we're seeing in the gym. We just got to put our head down and put blinders on and just ignore because it's pathetic. They're going to maybe look good for actually, the few that I'm thinking of actually look worse than they did 6 weeks ago because of the contest nonsense that goes on. But they're dragging their asses into the gym, and they're not smiling, and they're not, or they're putting on fake.
Their workouts are very, unproductive too. If you watch them,
they got no energy.
Basically.
Yeah. So, and meanwhile, compared to you got this old fart hanging and banging, and then you got Andy, the young lion, looking like this, hanging and banging. We're moving around the gym at jet speed compared to these other people. So just, if that gym's rocking, don't bother knocking when we're around. All right, so that's just the way it goes. All right, anything else?
Nice analogy, Scott.
Okay.
It is a good opportunity for people to ask questions. This is what we're all about.
Comments and questions, folks. This is, like I titled it, all about Andy's Awesome Abs. All about Andy's Awesome Abs. Now it's 5 A's I got in there.
It's better than the 3 I came
This is an alliteration banquet here. Okay, so all about Andy's Awesome Abs. The product is coming to you soon. We're really happy with it. I mean, every time we thought we had it covered, Magic Mike, our boss, would write to us and say, "Well, you need more on this, and you need more," and he cracks a whip, doesn't he?
Oh, so, I'm learning that. I'm learning that he does.
So we had Andy take the camera home, set it up on a tripod. You got him in his kitchen, cooking, and he actually can cook too, ladies. I don't know how that happens, but I have a housekeeper that does that, but he cooks. So he's actually cooked for me. Carrot cake, and what else did you make? Date squares. So obviously we're both on the cycle diet. So
what about your favorite donut?
My favorite donut?
Yeah.
Everyone's always big on like apple fritters, Boston cream.
We're Canadian.
I like the sour cream glazed. It's a very underrated donut at Tim Hortons,
but you haven't had a cronut yet.
I actually have not. I don't think Tim Hortons has them, but I've had it from somewhere. It was pretty good.
Yeah, when sorry folks, we got to bring you a little Canadiana here. When you grow up in Canada around something as Canadiana as Tim Hortons, donuts is a different word to us than it is to everybody out there. Believe me, I've been to Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, Dunkin' Donuts is like eating paper compared to Tim Hortons. All right, so Canadians, we know donuts. I mean, we do donuts. All right.
When you have snow like 8 months of the year, snow and cold, coffee and donuts are, just goes.
Not in Kelowna.
It's like donuts, eh? That's us. Donuts, eh?
Yeah.
All right. So not donuts, but donuts. Hey, okay. And yes, I mean, the reason we move west is if you also live in Canada and you live north or east, you move west because you get tired of 7 months of winter and 5 months of bad skating. So you move west. So that's another thing there. But yeah, donuts, I won't even get into that one.
Donuts are definitely one of my favorites for sure. I mean, they're all good. Like, I mean, I don't think there is a bad donut. I could eat any of them, but I certainly have my favorites.
Which is another thing about the cycle diet and Andy's Awesome Abs product, folks. You see how we're not afraid of food? We're not guilt-ridden about food. We're not ashamed to say, like, we will indulge.
Yeah, who doesn't like a donut?
No, lots of people are, oh no, it's a donut. Get that away from me. Is you're eating a dozen donuts in the project? I can't remember. You said there was a cheat day.
Yeah. We're going to.
Did you demolish the donuts?
Oh, there's some crumbs left.
Okay, all right. Well, I've seen it in action, folks. It reminds me of my metabolic prime. In my metabolic heyday, I would have to order from the 2-for-1 pizza place because I could eat both pizzas, and then I'd wait about an hour and eat 2 liters of ice cream. Those days are gone because now I'm just old lion. But I've seen the young lion eat, folks. It's the real deal. So if we catch that on camera within Andy's Awesome Abs product, you can see how someone actually enjoys major indulgences, what we call a refeed, in order to keep the abs that he's got, keep metabolism first, leanness, weight loss second. Yeah.
Scott, is in this program, will there be any recipes or diet samples in the product?
Absolutely, yeah. I go through every one of my meals. I go through different ways how to prepare them. You know, some of my favorite recipes, and then I do some stuff around refeed days too. So
it's intense, folks. It's deep. I mean, the stuff we
I
cover.
Calculate calories like as a starting point, and then I talk about going off biofeedback after that because I don't even know how many calories I eat right now, but I mean I have a rough
idea,
idea,
folks?
but I don't know.
Hear that? He doesn't know how many calories he eats. He doesn't count grams of carbs, right? He don't count grams of fat.
No.
But in the project, now here's the difference that Andy could add that I couldn't, because sometimes people will order diet from me and stuff, and they'll say, how can I use such and such in a recipe? And I'll say, I don't know, I don't cook. All right? I literally have a housekeeper that cooks my food, and I keep it simple. Andy likes to cook, so you're getting a variation there that I could never offer in one of my products, because you like doing it.
Yeah.
So, and there's some vegetarian options.
Yeah, definitely.
Vegetarian options, protein options. He tells you how we spread it out. He tells you about our long-term approach, how that takes care of the short-term results. All right? Meld that into your mind, folks. Long-term approach takes care of short-term results. The industry wants you to think that upside down. Yes?
Excuse me again. How many circuits will be on Awesome Abs? Will it be a 5-day protocol program? Will there be a 3-day beginners program?
There's 4 different circuits, but there's many different ways that you can apply it, and we definitely go into more depth in that in the project. How you can apply
rules of application.
Yeah, basically, it's going to best suit you. So
yeah, that's what it's all about. Remember, folks, in terms of the protocol, the Andy's Awesome Abs circuit training, all right, is an adjunct, all right, to the rest of his programming for his body. It's not like Andy went for a year and just did his Awesome Abs circuits, or he wouldn't have the rest of this.
No.
Right? He would just have a weird-looking set of abs with a scrawny body, right? So what we're talking about is how he developed the circuits, how he fit them in, all right? And we're doing the same thing. I think there's a whole rules of application section where we talk about, okay, if you're training this way, maybe opt for this kind of approach of Andy's Awesome Abs circuit. If you're training this way, you can do this and apply them that way. So we really give you options in terms of staying with your own programming, but incorporating Andy's Awesome Abs circuits, again, because it's about effectiveness. It's about those 4 tiers, right? The sit-up and crunch variations, the leg raise variations, the plank variations, and the kinetic chain expression stuff. All right? You got those in, and then we explain to you how to sort of combine them. Well, Andy does, but and then the rest of the stuff, I mean, that Andy does at the dinner table is just deep, and for that we both have to thank Mike. Mike's the one put it all in line and said, look, people are going to want to know more about this, and people are going to want to know more about this, and people are going to want to know more about this. So thanks to Mike, we turned a basic product into something real special. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Scott, Tracy wants to know if you always recommend that refeeds be done on days that you rest entirely, or would they ever be done on a high volume training day?
Well, what a great question, Tracy. Good one. Good question. Now, in the early days of the cycle diet, I would always be about, you have to have your refeed day on a day off. And I used to be about, for me, training on a day off when I'm trying to refeed would cut into how much I could eat.
Yeah.
But I've kind of softened on that stance over the years. I've realized that some people who are on 6-day programs and stuff prefer a refeed actually on a training day. Takes a little discipline, because if you're going to eat a lot and then go to the gym and do bent over movements, you don't want to be hacking and yakking all over the gym floor. So that was another reason that I didn't like doing it. I was too uncomfortable to train, because of just back in the heyday, I could eat that much. So I didn't want to be doing anything extra, and I could get in more calories. But I've softened on that. I realize that people at my age who are only flirting with supercompensation, not that deep into it like Andy is, I could easily right now train on a refeed day. As a matter of fact, when I go on vacation, I work out all the time on vacation, and part of that on vacation, I don't diet at all. So it's nothing for me to go to the gym after, you know, diving into a box of donuts and eating my way out. All right, so we'll do that kind of thing too. So that's a really good question. You wanted to add?
Yeah, I've always done mine on a Sunday. Sunday's always a rest day for me. I prefer it. I've been doing it so long like that. You know, it's not just about, you know, eating more. It's about just relaxing too throughout the whole day. So I mean, no exercise is more, you know, relaxing for me. I can just kind of stay in more mellow, more chilled out. I don't have to get, you know, ready to go bring it, and you know, you're just.
Yeah, I think that's another big part of it too, Tracy. For even when I was doing it, is to have a day that wasn't about anything else.
Yeah.
Have a day that wasn't about my training, wasn't about my physique. It was just about, I mean, and it's a great day to meet friends, get together. Like, there's lots of shots of Andy and I on Instagram out having a few pops and, you know, watching Andy eat, and while I'm chasing young waitresses around the restaurant, but I get too tired too fast, so I can never catch them. That kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's a great question, though, but Andy just brought up a good point. That was another reason for me. I'm a firm believer that it's important to get away from something you love in order to continue loving it, right? Something like the training and the dieting. If that's all you do, for instance, we've both had clients who panic about vacations. How am I going to stick to my diet? How am I going to get my exercise in? Well, why not just put it on the shelf till you get back? Enjoy your vacation. That way when you come back, you don't, that way when you come back, you don't say, oh, I really, you know, I was deprived. I didn't enjoy myself. I had to work out all the. Shelf it then. And then when you come back, at least you got no excuses.
Again,
Shelf
big picture.
it. Yeah, big picture. Shelf it. Indulge. Then you know you haven't missed anything. You'll be even hungrier to get back at it. That kind of thing. Very, very important. So that was a great question. Love that question. Yeah.
Andy, Louis wants to know if you use external weights to work the abs like cable crunches.
Yeah, like
You do a lot of rope crunches.
Yeah, there's rope crunches actually in the abs project. I wouldn't say I use a whole lot of external weight though. Maybe some medicine balls and.
I was just going to say, external weight doesn't mean dumbbells
Yeah.
and barbells, but yeah, weighted medicine balls.
Certainly nothing, you know, real heavy like these, you know,
Side
bends with 120-pound dumbbells
Yeah.
that you see some people doing, right? But yeah, pretty much everything's just body weight, and we progress that with, you know, with speed and range of motion and you know,
how to make an exercise harder.
yeah,
And then sometimes that does, sometimes that uses resistance.
yeah. Sometimes it does, sometimes it
Because
doesn't.
I know, I remember when we were filming, you were doing rope crunches, and of course the only way to make a rope crunch, you know, more effective is to add weight.
Yeah.
But not all exercises are like that, so we do the TikToks, right, where you do a basic variation with body weight, and then you add the stability ball, right?
Yeah.
And the same thing with the stability ball leg raises, things like that. So. Good, another good question. Love it when we get good, smart, intelligent questions. If I can stay upright.
Scott, this might be for you. Dylan needs some advice for muscle imbalance in his shoulders. Hunched forward pronation.
weakened protracted shoulder complex. Usually,
bench pressing.
too much bench pressing and sitting all day is likely to. Probably not a guy who works a lot lifting things and moving them around, because that would solve that issue almost by itself, which, with my innervation training, solves the issue, because we will train the shoulders in multiple ranges and planes of motion. When Andy's just saying that weak and protracted shoulder complex, where you go from a square posture like that to a rounded, protracted shoulder complex, comes from too much pressing in the gym, right? Mostly bench pressing and mostly barbell shoulder pressing. So you end up, combine that with sitting a lot, you get a weak and protracted shoulder complex, which can lead to all kinds of other problems in the posterior chain, including lower back problems, actually, and even hamstring issues. So, on a properly balanced program, something you would find in my program design masterclass, you'll see a lot of my training programs break down over 4 weeks. Body part has 1 to 4 workouts, you're familiar.
Yep. And
then over those 4 weeks, you work in multiple ranges and planes of motion, and those things tend to get corrected without doing fancy corrective movements and stuff. I'm not really digging that modern trend way over here in the rehab work, that we have to do all this funky stuff in order to bring stuff back into balance. Yeah. Another good question, though. Fantastic. What else we got?
Nothing really new. Just gratifying to see that there's so many positive things that people are responding to regarding your answers.
Awesome. Well, we're happy to hear that. Folks, apparently Facebook algorithms love thumbs and hearts and emoticons and all that crap, so you can send it across the screen. We appreciate it. It helps Facebook reach out and grab more people. So we want to get the truth out there. Again, I think a sign of the times, and a sad one at that when we were shooting videos in the gym for this stuff, that people's response in the gym, was like, "Oh, you're shooting videos. What supplement company are you with?" And I think that's sad. Like, we're trying to bring the truth. We're trying to bring expertise, not our version of it.
No,
but
bullshit fitness.
Yeah, I mean, there's way too much going on there. I mean, the new term out there, I talked about this on my Sunday breakfast show, the new term, I'm an evidence-based trainer. I don't even know what the hell that's supposed to mean. I'm an experience-based trainer, all right? 4 decades plus experience at the top levels of the fitness industry. I had my own column in magazines. I ghost wrote for magazines. I've written 20 books. I've been around. Everyone who was anyone in this industry wanted my help back in the day, right? So we're trying to bring it. Now, though, with the advent of social media, it's almost like the truth is dead. And the truth and facts aren't the same thing, folks.
Post-fax era right now.
Yeah, we're in the post-fax era. So, evidence-based trainer, that's a fancy name for someone who likes to think that one piece of research equals science. We're not in an industry of hard science. We're in an industry of very soft science, and you have to know the difference. And we've discussed that in many of my podcasts. So, Smarter Sculpted Physique podcast, if you haven't been on there, you should. Some very smart people talking about some very smart stuff. So, that's the Smarter Sculpted Physique. But, to close out, we are all kinds of excited that this final Coach and Andy live show is to talk about Andy's awesome ab circuit training product that will be coming at you probably within the next week. So get ready. Like I said, it's in depth from Andy's dinner table, kitchen table, to here in the dungeon, hanging and banging about how Andy achieved cover model abs, kept cover model abs for over a decade. Again, how do you do that? You do it by taking a long-term approach and understanding that takes care of short-term results. Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say diet videos, training videos, just videos on my lifestyle, just how to put it all together. I mean, that's what you're getting in this package. It's not just some ab exercise.
You can throw your shirt back on again. I just thought of something. Okay, we'll get to you in a second, because I thought of something I meant to start with and I forgot. Go ahead. In the last week or two, people have written me, and they'll use Andy as an example, and they say, I'm ordering a one-time custom workout for you, Scott. I want to work out, and I really want to lose some weight, and I want to tighten and tone my abs. But then what they'll tell me in their assessment information is how many days a week they train, but I don't really diet. Listen, folks, you can't out-diet. You can't out-work out. You can't out-train a poor and inconsistent diet. You want abs like that? The kitchen table is as much of your workout as the dungeon. You're never going to out-train a poor or inconsistent diet. You can't lean out like this by not following something consistently, all right, and diligently, all right?
Yeah, it's about programming your metabolism through diet. Not you can't add more exercise to exercise and think you're just gonna.
And this is part of the long-term reality versus the short-term promises of this industry, right? You know, no magic supplements, no pre and during workout stuff. Andy's not walking around the gym sipping on his magic branch-chain amino acids and glutamine and other secret formulas he has to hide for you and sip and then look at his abs in the mirror. No, we take the realistic, long-term approach, 6 balanced meals throughout the day, right? And I mean, and the detail that's in this project. I mean, I'm just proud of it. It's a long time coming. So
it's been awesome.
And again, thanks to our Aussie fans. This episode dedicated to those down under. We seem to be having a growing contingent of folks, you know, that are happy with what we're doing. So spread the word and all those things. I believe you said there was a question.
Yeah, they're probably a pretty pertinent question. Where do you purchase the Awesome Abs program?
Well, that'll be, believe me, once it's launched, ScottAbleFitness.com.
RealAndySinclairFitness.com.
Andy's Instagram, which is
Real Andy Sinclair.
all right. On my Facebook, where you're watching right now, of course, we'll be posting links. But ScottAbleFitness.com. And if you're on my email list at ScottAbleFitness.com, you'll get notification anytime we have a new product or project going. You'll get automatic notification. And if you opt in at ScottAbleFitness.com, you also get free books, like my Mindset of Achievement book on how all of this has to do with mindset.
Yeah.
All right. So remember, quality of mindset determines quality of behavior. And that's what this is all about, too. You talk about that stuff, too, right?
Absolutely. It's a huge part of success with anything, really. You can't just...
And we've talked about, we talked about enjoying donuts and things like that, but here's the difference on the cycle diet that you followed in a regimented way for 13 years now. If today's a diet day, you don't think, well, you don't look at your abs in the mirror and think, I can get away with a donut today.
No.
It's not going to happen. He has it on his refeed day, and we don't think about breaking our diet on any day but refeed days. It's not a negotiation, folks. You're not going to negotiate your way to this kind of physique. All right? You'll have to do what it takes the way it takes it, not the way you want it to be. So keep that in mind as well. 50 pounds of real in a 10-pound bag, folks. Yeah.
Scott, is this really the last show that you're producing this way?
Just for a few weeks. It's not the last.
Coach and Andy.
Not the last one ever.
Oh God, no! Was that someone thought this was the last show?
Well, it sort of came up that way.
You said it was the last one, but
no.
We're going to Aruba.
We have a little hiatus, and I'm trying a new device, which we tried earlier that didn't work. I've got a new iPhone 7, which is a little too big for my brain. So we're going to, we went back to my old trusty iPad here, so maybe that's what I was getting at. But no, we're a team.
We're not going anywhere for a while.
This is just the beginning, folks. Andy's Awesome Abs Circuit Training product. This is the first one out of the gate, let us tell you. Then we've got Krista with her Train at Home Bodyweight Glute Training Protocol from yours truly. Then we got the Hard Gainer Solution. We've been shooting that for months. My Hard Gainer Solution book, bestseller on Amazon. Well, with Andy's help, we went in and we shot every single exercise of all 80 workouts. All right? And we're bringing that to you with diet breakdown and things like that. With this awesome physique doing all the demos, right? With the old guy yakking in the background telling you what you need to know. So that's coming out. And then we've got Krista doing the Busy Woman's Train at Home circuit training, Tighten and Tone, Shape and Sculpt. That's going to be 6-7 months before it's done. That's how intensive, and you've been shooting that. You can speak to how great that is.
That's going to be awesome. Just for, I know many people that would benefit from that.
We got the lovely Krista shooting it. We're shooting it here in the dungeon because it's literally a train at home. You don't need a lot of equipment. But again, we're using physiques that people can aspire to and be inspired by. All right? We're not presenting to you things that are going to intimidate you, right? I want you to look at people like Andy and Krista and be inspired and say, they can do it, I can do it. And we're going to say, you'll get there. I mean, that's a line that came from our cameraman to say more often. You'll get there. And we believe you can get there, but you're going to get there with knowledge. You're not going to get there with magic tricks. The magic is in the method. All right, folks? So, final thoughts before, I think we're talking your ear off, folks. You probably want us to get going.
No, just looking forward to this release. I've been, we've been working
Chomping
on it.
at the bit.
Oh, big time, yeah.
Yeah.
Excited to get it out there and get, the feedback from it.
Yeah, I mean, the old lion's excited, the young lion's ready to go out and hump something. So yeah, we are ready to go. I just blew some minds over there on the other end of the camera, but
the cameraman
we're excited, right?
Oh, big time.
All right, and we're happy, folks. Happy to be working together. Andy as my protege. It's nice, since I had one of the best mentors in the business. It's always nice to be paying it forward and handing it down in all seriousness. So, and what you folks might not know is this is no accident. Andy packed up his bags and moved here to be around me so we could do this kind of stuff.
Over 3,000 kilometers, too.
And he didn't know anybody here. He packed up his bags and bought a condo and moved here and was like, okay, now do you believe I want to learn from you? So, pretty awesome freaking stuff, folks. Not many people are willing to do that to move their life ahead. So, kudos to Andy. That's why that's why I said we're so excited to bring this to you. But first of many, folks. I mean, we're just getting going. So, come hang out with us on YouTube, Facebook Live. As soon as I get back from recharging these old batteries, sticking my finger in a socket somewhere and seeing where that leads me. We'll get back and we'll be live again on the Coach and Andy show. So hopefully you were glad you tuned in. All about Andy's abs. So excited to bring this product to you. Look for it within the next 7 to 10 days, I'm sure. Final thoughts, brother?
Right there.
All right. Sizzling. All right, folks. So show us some thumbs and hearts if you liked what you saw. And again, we'll be posting this on my YouTube channel at Scott Abel Coaching on YouTube coming up. And so glad to have you out there. Otherwise, it would make no sense for us to be in here. Thanks for our Aussie fans for all the lovely gifts you've sent recently. And we look forward to bringing you a hell of a lot more. So just this first product coming out of the door soon. But then we're going to hit you with a deluge of products within the next year or so. And Smarter Sculpted Physique podcast, don't forget, we've had some of the top people in the whole industry on there. And we got more coming this week with Krista Scott Dixon, PhD in Women's Studies, and she'd bring it. I knew she would. And next week with Alan Cosgrove, another big name in the fitness industry. So you want to get on there.
There's always something happening.
Always something happening, and we're happy to bring it to you. So until next time, folks, look for Andy's Awesome Abs Circuit Training product at Scott Abel Fitness or Real Andy Sinclair or the Facebook pages and social media. And I forget who said this, but I'll be back.